Oh boy. I don't know. It may be too early to start talking about album of the year, but we got a dandy for you today. I got a package from Van Records. They did send me a nice Sinmara patch. And then a advertisement for a band that's coming out, Nodsphere, N-O-D, or Nodfear, N-O-D-F-Y-R. Their new album's coming out in March. But we're not here to talk about these bands. We are here to talk about the new ruins of Beverast. This is a band that I have been wanting to discover for a while, and last year I picked up Exuvia, and I raved about that album in one of my previous videos. And when I saw the pre-order come up for their new album, I purchased it immediately from Van Records. Package arrived safe and sound Tuesday, I think, and I have been listening to this album nonstop, and it is probably about as close to a masterpiece as you can get. I've been obsessed with this album since I started listening to it. This is, without further ado, The Ruins of Beverast, the Thule Grimoires, I think is how it's pronounced. I got the limited edition slip type case thing that's hand numbered for out of 333. I got number 140, it looks like. First off, Van Records spared no expense in the packaging. It comes in this cool little felt type case. I don't know if you can kind of tell. It's like feels like an old book with the silver, this creepy monster that makes its appearance throughout the artwork. Nothing on the back. There's the inside. It comes with a poster. I don't really get much out of the poster, but it has, again, elements of all the artwork scattered throughout. And there's that creepy guy that was on the cover. So you get a poster, and then you get the innards, which has the lyrics. This is their 6th studio album, I believe. There's some of the inside. I started listening to this on Bandcamp recently because I bought this from Van Records and I didn't have the digital files. And my CD player has been acting up. And there's a new thing on Bandcamp, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed this. If you're listening to something that you haven't bought, after every song, this message pops up and says, hey, why don't you buy something from the artist or something like that. And if you say no, there's like a heart that breaks. It's kind of annoying after every song that pops up on this. But from the moment this album starts to the end, we're listening to the very, I think, is it the last song we're listening to now? No, this is Polar Hysteria. From start to finish, this album, if you liked Exuvia, he has taken Exuvia, and he being Alexander von Meilenwald, I think is how you pronounce his name, and took whatever was on Exuvia and just blew it up and made it even more out there and doomy and gothy and heavy. And I loved that album. I know a lot of people like their earlier stuff where it's more black metal-ish, but this has enough black metal for you black metal fans to stay engaged. I did take a few notes on some of the highlights here. So there seems to be there's a green theme going on here, as you can see from this to the booklet. All the innards are green and black. Even in the lyrics, there's some mention to, there's lots of mentions of greens. I don't know what that means exactly, but I know the last Ifernach album, the Green Druids album, it had some elements of green too. I don't know if there's a tie-in, if there's some mythos they're referring to. I tried to do a bunch of research on this album and the lyrics and whatnot, and I was coming up short, running into a lot of dead ends. But the album starts with Ropes into Eden, probably one of the strongest songs on the album. It's about 12 minutes long. The lyrics seem to have, throughout this album, kind of this nautical, lost at sea feeling to me, and I could be way off base. This is just based on some of my loose interpretation of some of the lyrics, some of the songs, some of the song titles. There's a song talking about anchors, and there's one of there was another one, I can't remember the name of the title off the top of my head, talking about tundras and whatnot. So I'm not really sure what all the lyrics mean, but Ropes into Eden made me think there was some kind of religious bent, or they're talking about some underworld in the ocean that leads to who knows where. I don't know, but I started going through the lyrics, which I can show you here. Ropes into Eden is kind of all the elements that you're going to find in this album are starting to pop up throughout Ropes of Eden. You're going to hear bits and pieces of doom. You're going to hear some kind of Joy Division, Dead Can Dance vocal styles, kind of typo negative. There was one song. What was the name of the song? I think it was I can't remember the name of the song. I think it was Anchorus in Furs, maybe, where it reminded me a lot of Tom G. Warrior's band Triptychon. Kind of that heavy bottom end, slow, creepy, doomy riffing with those real quiet vocals, and you just know at some point it's going to build up and explode. There's some weird things going on with the lyrics too. If you get past the third or fourth song, like here, you get into, I think it's Cromlech Knell. There's a little section of wording down here that doesn't really make an appearance in the lyrics itself, but there's a part of the song where they start chanting Thanata at the end of the song, and that's where that comes in. And then you get to the middle part, and there's some words here, and more reference to green. Take refuge in green light, which is darkness. But there's some wording here that doesn't make any sense. It's not written on the back track listing. It's not written as a song title. And you get to the song, I think it's Mammothopoulos, if I'm saying that right. Mammothopoulos? I'm not sure what's happening here, but I keep wanting to say Mammothopoulos, but that's not really the way it's spelled. But if you get to the end of that song, there's a part that references back to the words here, Sabarbar Bathiath, Sabarbar Bafa, I think. So it harkens back to those words that were in here, but aren't really listed on the song itself. There's bits and pieces of these songs that have some spoken word parts that aren't listed in the lyrics, and I tried to crank this up and really listen to it, and I could not for the life of me understand what was happening, so I was really hoping to get some more into the weeds on this album. This is one of the first albums in recent memory that I can think of where I sat down, had the book here in front of me, and was listening to the song, absorbing the lyrics, trying to figure out the meaning of the songs. And that's kind of what this album, or at least for me, what it did to me is sucked me in. Back to the nautical theme, there's times where Alexander sounds like he's kind of gurgling water in the vocals, and it reminds me of when David Vincent did it on the song Where the Slime Live, which was on Domination. Kind of that, except Alexander does it a lot better and makes it sound cool. I think David Vincent kind of overproduced the vocals on that song, but it's kind of like that. He's got water in his throat, and he's gurgling water throughout, which again to me ties into that nautical theme that, at least again, my opinion, I could be way off base. So the album's, I think, over an hour long. Most of the songs it looks like the shortest song was 6 minutes, and the longest, which is the last track, Deserts to Bind and Defeat, is 14 minutes long. Does not feel like 14 minutes at all. There's a lot of melody intertwined throughout these songs. The beginning of the song, I think it's Anchorus and Furs. There's some female chanting, kind of like that, not really chanting, more of the real melodic opera singing type. Oh, I'm not even going to try it. There's this creepy church bell at the end of one song, or not a church bell, it sounds more like a when you're out on a ship, or you've heard boats have that little ding 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 ding, that bell, that creepy bell that you sometimes hear in the middle of the night if you've ever been to a lake or been on the ocean or been near lighthouses. You hear that chiming. Polar Hiss Hysteria is probably the closest thing you true black metal heads will really get into. It's primarily blast beats all the way through with some nice choruses thrown in. The other thing I liked is Ruins of Beverast never really follow normal song structures. It's not verse, chorus, verse, bridge, you know. Even some of the choruses that have the same melody, the lyrics change. So the melody's the same, but the words are different. I thought that was really cool. And then there's parts of this where it's very more doomy. And I know I've said this already, but you kind of feel this very morose, doomy, I'm lost at sea, and I don't think I'm ever going to get home feeling. And you're facing a beast of an ocean, is how it feels to me. Very consuming. But I've babbled on enough about this album, but there's not a second wasted here. You can tell that Alexander, who is the sole member of Ruins of Beverast, from start to finish, every second has a meaning in every song. There's not a throwaway song. There's not a part of a song that he just threw in and was writing a riff for 3 minutes just because he could. There's real meaning behind every bit and piece of every song on this album. It's 7 tracks, over an hour long, I believe. It's 30, 41, 40, yeah, over an hour long. And it is a journey from start to finish. I can't say it enough. This will be in my probably top 5, if not the top spot of the year. I haven't seen a lot of people review this yet, but every review has pretty much said this is almost a perfect album, and I would agree with that. I'm even drinking my water out of a green cup. I'm on board with the green, whatever the fuck that means. I'm on board. So yeah, check out The Ruins of Beverast, the new one. It came out February 5th, officially. It's just fantastic. If anyone knows what the lyrics mean, or maybe there is no meaning, maybe he just threw the lyrics out there and said, hey, make of it what you will. That's cool too. So, and I really like the back here. It's a couple different times, but it's like it doesn't really follow a nautical theme, but it's like this creepy cave, and there's some stairs down here, and you don't know what awaits. And again, the creepy satanic whatever that is on the front. Great stuff. Stop what you're doing. Stop watching my fucking video. Go listen to it. I'll link it below. I'll link to Van Records. I think they released this in a vinyl version. I don't know if it's sold out. It should be if it's not by now. But yeah, check it out, guys. Ruins of Beverast. The Thule Grimoires. I cannot stress enough how great this album is. I am now a solidified Ruins of Beverast fan. I'm going to stop what I'm doing after this video, and I'm going to dig into their back catalog, and when I get paid, I'm going to go buy everything they've ever made. So that's what this album's done to me. Hope you guys feel the same. If you don't, or if you do, let me know below. Check it out. It's great. It's fantastic. You're going to love it. And I will catch you all next time. Thank you. Have a good one.